cheese. Yeah, you be quiet when Big Mama speaks. What she gave us is a part of me. It flows through my arteries. Even on that journey, that love grows how the garden be. The first to teach us when we sick, the first to heal us. Mama's boy, yeah, you know, my pride and joy. Soul food, yeah, you know, I'ma enjoy. Calm you down, just by the sound of a voice. There isn't another feeling inside. When they cheer you on at your game, and you feeling the pride. You and your siblings fighting, she gon' make you put them feelings aside. She can lead you down the road, but she can give you the guide. When you think I get that blissful look in my eyes, and either side of ice cream with them eyes up fly. You know what's up with Mama Chief, you know I'm a ride. Cause we all need a Mama Chief. Yeah, we all love a Mama Chief. The greatness, the patience, the foundation, the knowledge passed down so many generations. Our motivation, I just wanna thank you for my creation. Cause we all love a Mama Chief. Yeah, we all need a Mama Chief. Yeah, we all rap for Mama Chief. The dedication, I sing your tears at my graduation. Now look how your boy made it. You the reason I'm one of the greatest. Yeah, cause we all need a Mama Chief. Yeah, we all love a Mama Chief. Yeah, we all rap for Mama Chief. Now be quiet, let Big Mama speak. Shout out to the Mama Chief. Yeah, you be quiet when Big Mama speaks. What she gave us is a part of me. It flows through my arteries. Even on that journey, that love grows how the garden be. The first to teach us when we sick, the first to heal us. Mama's boy, yeah, you know, my pride and joy. Soul food, yeah, you know, I'ma enjoy. Calm you down, just by the sound of a voice. There isn't another feeling inside. When they cheer you on at your game, and you feeling the pride. You and your siblings fighting, she gon' make you put them feelings aside. She can lead you down the road, but she can give you the guide. When you think I get that blissful look in my eyes, and either side of ice cream with them eyes up fly. You know what's up with Mama Chief, you know I'm a ride. Cause we all need a Mama Chief. Yeah, we all love a Mama Chief. The greatness, the patience, the foundation, the knowledge passed down so many generations. Our motivation, I just wanna thank you for my creation. Cause we all love a Mama Chief. Yeah, we all need a Mama Chief. Yeah, we all rap for Mama Chief. The dedication, I sing your tears at my graduation. Now look how your boy made it. You the reason I'm one of the greatest. Yeah, cause we all need a Mama Chief. Yeah, we all love a Mama Chief. Yeah, we all rap for Mama Chief. Now be quiet, let Big Mama speak. Who they think they better than? Ain't no comparison to the so-called black, the African American. You can drop the African, keep the American. When we say Aborigine and make their world in, I'm going in the same dirt my ancestors buried in. I come from a god and a goddess, so what that make me? Not even Basquiat can trace me. Not even Van Gogh can paint me. The MC in me is the God MC. Equals the God in me. I'm focused in, let my mind be free. You too blind to see the Jews I give Israel. It's been real. These ain't shots, they missiles. All you gonna hear is the wish seal. Lyrically, this an execution. My verses start revolutions. For my people seeking restitution. Since the beginning, fuck evolution. Or maybe my reality is all a dream. I put it together like I was so it seems. So it seems this is that audio dopamine. Roll against the machine. We put you where nobody can hear you scream. And see you to meet your Elohim. My nigga, this is savage mode. It's something that you hate to go. It started with a spark and I'ma let it explode. I was given the cheat codes that'll let me dump and reload. And go through them waves like a fucking torpedo. You dealt the cards of life. I just cut them diamonds with the ace of spades. Y'all scatter like roaches when they facing raid. Or vampires when they facing blade. I'm trying to get extra terrain like I'm getting played. You still stuck as a mental slave. You still stuck in that mental cage. While I'm making easy money, pimping hoes in style. This my coming to age. Crowd warm when I'm coming on stage. And when I'm done, they gonna be cheering my name. Dream times and now. I ain't quit my day job, I spit bars. I really rap on my day off. That's real shit. Just give you some tools you can build with. Aim high even if you still miss. Just keep going. It's a climb to the top. And I'ma keep flowing. Down Lake Shore, I'm Chicagoan. Yeah. You niggas playing checkers, we playing chess. And nigga, this is checkmate. Trey be the big dog, and you just a little baby. You out of Africa, and we ain't got the same traits. I'm a Caribbean, and we ain't got the same fate. My granny died February 18th, and I was born on the same date. The chosen one, the ancestors' chosen son. They gave me the golden gun. One shot, that's a hole in one. From the pyramid of the sun, the property point. I don't think you niggas is getting the point. We still here. Who said they made the originals disappear? Hey Sharon, great continuation, love. Thank you for coming over. So fuck the nonsense. When I rap, I touch your consciousness. From within is when you get your self-confidence. Let's bring it back to dominance. Ain't no confining us. We'll bring that wild Indian out of us. Yeah. Good to see you, sis. Yeah. We still here. I don't know none of them folks right there. I don't know none of them folks right there. Let me see. Oh yeah, I like this one. Feminine energy, y'all. Feminine energy. They're women from all over the world. Oh, you're sad. Get some volume up in here. Let's get some energy going up in here. What? Come on. What? Feminine energy. Time we wasted. We realize all the time we wasted. Come on. Feminine libation. What? We wasted. Time we wasted. What? Feminine energy. What? In the womb times 9. What? Feminine energy, balance of the indestructible in the vaginal, heaven in thine. Heaven is mine. Spiritual, lyrical, mother sings sweetest taboo. All is well, sis. I'm well. I'm healing. For real, for real. Intuition and ambition. Come on. Veins, pour out the love, let the healing begin. Pleasantry. Hey, they ain't got nothing on me. Got nothing on me. I don't care about the pleasantries. What? Pleasantries. Hey, we ain't no worldly women. Ain't got nothing on me. Hey, pick up your energy. What? Pick up your energy. What? Pick up your energy. Don't lay it down. Is your joy dried up? Don't let your joy dry up. Don't let your joy dry up. What? Pick up your energy, sis. I beg you, listen me. I beg you, open your ears to everything that they say. Everything that they talk. Now, serious talk that they talk. He's an African, I think. Listen. For real, for real. But we got all our people, y'all. Can't leave nobody out. We're gonna go. Well, we're gonna meet Mama God. Mama. When you meet Mama, what you gonna tell them? What you gonna say to Mama? What? We realize all the time we wasted. All the things we wasted. Come on. Woo. Oh, nobody else. I love that one right there, y'all.
I'm just wasted. What? On the shoulders. What? Woo! Come on, women. Come on, women. Can't nobody do nothing with that. And the afternoon. What? Just so to be alive. Woo! Come on now. Feminine energy in the house. Running through my veins. What? Is it running through your veins, sis? Hey, fuck with that energy, baby. What? Hey, pleasantry. I don't care nothing about no nails. I don't want nobody touching me. You can't even touch me with your energy on me. Remember that energy. Pick up your energy. What? Pick up your energy. What? Pick up your energy. Hey. Woo. Pick up your energy. Pick up your energy. Y'all brothers too. Pick up your energy. What? Pick up your energy. What? Ain't got nothing on me, y'all. What? Pick up your energy, brothers, sisters, and children. Pick up your energy. That's right, baby. You meet Mama God. Mama God, what you gonna tell her? What you gonna tell her? What you gonna say to her? What? On the shoulders. Come on. What that woman did. Mm. In that vaginal. That's the only place you're gonna get that energy in the vagina. What? What? Alright. Intuition running through my veins, y'all. Hey, ain't got nothing on me. Pleasantry. Ain't got nothing on me. Look, pick up your energy. Pick up your energy. Pick up your energy. Pick up your energy, I say. For real, pick up your energy. And I like my girl Naruba too. She be putting out some sounds over here. I don't guess they're gonna strike me. I don't know. They be doing it. I'll just play a little bit of hers. Cause I played all that.
Rap came from us. It started in the South Bronx. It started with conscious rappers. So to my brothers and sisters who are rappers, say you're part of the scheme, but you don't realize you are an unwitting collaborator in a scheme that is to destroy you and your future.
Let's be very clear, I ain't here to drink beer, smoke weed, shoot the breeze, and break bread with you. I'm only here to resurrect the living dead with you. Thought it was some kind of a game, I'm not playing with you. I got the Moorish warlords, women walking shorts, wars, Ethiopians with white face camouflage. Already disciplined, ready for that sabotage. You listen to Minaj? Word? You should kill yourself and everybody that you came with. Arrangements out of jurisdiction, no arraignment. My name gets mentioned through the ethers, through high frequency speakers. Certified 45, get in line. Make this revolution rap your favorite pastime. Make listen to Coon Tune your very last time. Last time he was CEO and now he's gangstified. Pushing keys, catching bodies, man, somebody lying. I'd rather listen to that guy noise, levitate with fly boys, organize an army band, dead prayers. Understand I'm not a missionary, just a devil's adversary, extraordinary, compliment the best. And most listening are subject to conditioning. They need a hook, something snappy.
They just need a hook. They just need a hook to smash their ass in. What?
Separating gods from the nigga man. Separating chicken hands from the heroines.
Okay.
Constantly that I should change my content. You're just too conscious. Maybe you should narrow in.
You all right, baby girl.
Make it amplify, glorify the hell you're in. But where the hell you been? Clearly you don't know me then. Spit flame, ethanol, Jada Pinkett set it off. I gang bang on opposition till his head is off. His arm, neck, leg, all nailed to a cross. You're not a mob boss.
I know it, sis. It ain't never nobody at my party, but it's okay. I'm just doing what I gotta do. They can get it or not. You know this is all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get it in. That's all. The house party over here. They need a hook, something just to smack their ass in. A lot of them need a hook.
Now should we get back to business then? I'm not the only one can tell us something's going on. We hustle harder every day and barely holding on.
Mary.
Thanks getting breaks that will be gully on.
She's spitting and she said what they call spitting.
And he was about that revolution to the facts got him. My man Scott got 3 to 5 for a bag of weed. But be a priest and rape boys walk scot free.
Be a priest and rape some boys and you walk scot free. Shit, man. Tell the truth through your song, baby. Yeah. Hang her ass. Listen at her. What? Speak, sis. Look at these niggas with this bullshit music they play.
Most listening are subject to conditioning. They need a hook,
Woo, they need a hook, baby. They need a hook just to pull them in. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
You got it, Rihanna. But Cavani.
They need a hook just to pull them in. Oh, I said I wasn't going to play no more music, though. I ain't going to play no more music, though, because I might get a strike. So I'm going to go back over here. And I'm going to go right back here. Yeah, right. Right here, Sharon. We're finna go right here and listen to some teaching, okay?
Learning these people? What's going on?
Yeah, she was doing it once. Okay, I don't want to go.
The next time y'all want TikTok.
I'm gonna start from the beginning of this because this is a good deal. I was looking at it. I said I'm finna go live and share it with my folks. Okay, so we gonna watch this. We gonna watch this from right. I think he's starting good right here. When he shout everybody out.
Peace and light.
Yeah, peace and light.
You always on here.
Shout out to you,
I'm
Minister of
you
Information and Chrome TV.
I appreciate it. Salute to you, bro. I appreciate you. Listen, man, y'all showing big love right now.
We're gonna go off on Chrome
Listen,
TV right
if you
now,
find any of this information vital today, man, I am gonna put up my cash up a little bit later.
Right.
But I want to teach first. You're not obligated to give anybody anything. First of all, this is strictly on some donation basis type stuff. So don't feel obligated to tap in and listen or even pay anything. This is free information. Okay. What's up, bro?
Shout out to the Minister of Information and Crime TV for this live.
Oh, you already know.
Grab
that notebook. And I want to
grab your notebook. Come on, Sharon. We're going to get this message. We ain't going to let nobody else stop us.
To get back into my
email. Get your notes, baby. Get your notes.
Where's my email? Here we go. I'm just now able to access my emails, so don't feel like I've been ignoring you. I just wasn't able to access. I can now. My email's at the bottom of the screen. If you enjoyed today's lecture, shoot me an email, express your gratitude. If you want to come on live with me, anybody want to come on live with me, I'll bring you on my live. Okay, you ain't got to be a Rhodes Scholar. You just know a little bit about something, I'll bring you on my live. Solo 5,000 always in the building, no matter what. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Pharaoh Israel, what's up? Peace and love. Deborah, appreciate you. Love and honor and respect to you is reciprocated back. Peace and love. Of course, it did not. Well, TikTok be wild.
I want you to start teaching. Oh, that's really good.
Everybody ready? I don't want to move too fast. There's a time period that we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk about. Let's go from the 1820s. 1820 to about
already, I know that right, sis. You better be ready in this class. Okay. I know
I'm going to
that
do
right.
my best to stay within that time frame. As you guys already know.
Thank you for being
when
here,
we talk
Sharon.
about history, you have to put people in time and space. When it happened and where it happened, okay? When and where. That's very important. When and where it happened, all right? So
can you see the screen,
let's jump right
Sharon?
into
Make
it
it
without
big
further
so
ado.
you can read with him.
We're talking about Black rule. This says Blacks rule in Mississippi. So we have to put it in context of the time period. It says African Americans. Of course, you're going to see African American. You're going to see Negro. You're going to see Black. You're going to see people of color. You're going to see these allodial titles floating around. Just understand we're talking about the same group of individuals, okay? African Americans held some political power in Mississippi for a short time after the American Civil War, but these states have since continued to restrict Black political participation. Let's go here first. It says in 1869. In 1869 to 1901, Mississippi elected 64 state legislators and 3 Black U.S. congressmen. Okay? And this ain't even mind-blowing.
A little blurry.
You'll see something like, what the world? Chaim Rebels became the first African-American senator in 1870. Black K. Bruce became the first Black senator to serve a full 6-year term.
Is that better, Sharon?
Now, this is the part that I think we get hung up on right here. Doing what was called the Reconstruction era. So there's a couple different eras that happened.
Is that better,
Reconstruction era, Jim Crow era, the antebellum period precedes the Reconstruction era.
Oh, you are home.
But those 3 eras are the time frames you guys should study if you want to really learn what happened in the South, or the Southeast region of America. And I'm gonna show you guys something real quick. Let me pull up my Google. Give me 1 second. Let's go here. Let's see. Let's go to 1862 real quick. All right.
All right, y'all. Let's get this history together.
1862.
Let's find out what's going on around here.
1865. We know we're dealing with something called the Emancipation Proclamation. That's already understood, right? Let's write down what these terms mean. So 1862 to about 1863, 64, the dilemma was the northern states wanted to enter what was called the industrial age.
And this is
also
what
known as the Industrial Revolution.
Right here, y'all.
Okay, let's pull it up real quick. Give you guys some pictorial.
They said we wanted to get out of slavery, but it wasn't about what they said. They lied.
So the Union states, I gotta give you the background first.
And then I'm
the
show
Union
y'all about
territories, which were the northern states, wanted to enter what was called the Industrial Age, the Industrial Revolution happened, right? Because Europe had already had her Industrial Age. Now the northern states, which were mainly Delaware, Massachusetts, New York, or New Amsterdam, and the northern territories were still under the guise and influence of Great Britain. So quite naturally, they wanted to follow suit with their own version of the Industrial Age. This is the textile mills. This is why most of the northern states like Detroit, Ohio, and anywhere in the north, you're going to see more of an industrious
That's right. We had
phase, and down south in the southeast region, you'll see more agricultural and machinery phase. So keep that in mind as we go through this lecture today. There's two different distinct things happening. There's an industrial front coming in. This is also after the 1849 Western expansion, going into what was called the Manifest Destiny. This is when the railroad by the Carnegie Corporation and Rockefeller. Rockefeller was implementing learning institutions, or what we call land grant colleges, or which I'll call HBCUs. I'm going to also show you about the HBCUs. I've done a lecture on HBCUs already, but I want to really drive the point that the Native Americans, the TP Indians, were educated by Negroes in these HBCUs. I can show receipts and show proof, so don't sweat that, okay? But I want you guys to understand what was happening in North America in the 1800s, the entire 1800s, going into the early 1900s. And I always tell y'all this. Pay attention to that time frame. This is where the most actionable historical information is either lost, not told, or it's told in reverse. I'm going to reverse it back for you.
Oh, yeah,
today.
I know what you mean.
So the North was in the Industrial Revolution. The South, however, was in another era of time. Okay? Let me show you what the South was dealing with. When I say the South, I mean everything from Virginia below. The South, however, had just entered what was called King Cotton, or the Cotton era. All right? And what the South was doing, the South was exporting her cotton, her raw products, to Europe. And the Union wanted in on this very profitable situation. The Union wanted in on it. Like, hey, we want to get in on this profitable situation.
Remind me, we're going to do a bill on the unions,
bonded people and enslaved people, you got to keep in mind this was always dealing with labor, jobs, immigrants, migration. Just like it is in 2024 right now, we have a supposed migration problem. Venezuelans and supposed.
Tomorrow we will be back on the big channel where all the subscribers at. So this channel here, that's why it's nobody in here. I'll have a 43 people in there. I guess they didn't get the link. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll be back on where there'll be more people in here. I apologize for not being a lot of people, but that's how it is. It's not going to be a lot of us sharing. Grab my hand, sis. Let's make it. Let's make it. Arthur, I don't know whether you're still in here or not, but it's showing that you're gone. So, well, one of y'all gone. I'm still the only one in here.
Mexicans coming over the border, so on and so
still
forth.
In here.
This was happening in reverse with the so-called Negro race in the early 1920s, late 1800s.
It is.
So was the Civil War
he's
over
really good.
The idea of slavery? Of course not. The Civil War had nothing to do with that.
I'm catching it with
you. Matter of fact,
sharing it on my
during that time period, let's look at what Lincoln had said about the freeing of the so-called Negroes, and then we'll get right into our lecture. But I want to set up.
Y'all, can y'all please share this out, because they are really what you call it. They're hiding me. I can't even find myself. I have to go to the link that I shared with somebody to find me. Every time I take it over here, I have to go to the link that I shared to you, Arthur, or Sharon, and click that in order to find myself. They are what they call shadow banning me big time. People don't even know where I'm at, and I got 48 people on this chat. So I know they should be able to see me, but they don't. They're not able to see me. So y'all, I appreciate y'all for being here. Like Nan's showing me that ain't but one person in here. That one person would be me. You see what I'm saying? That one person would be me. So if two of y'all in here, it would be three. But it's only one showing that it's up here. One person is in here. So you see what I'm saying? They're hiding me. I know. But it's three of us in here. So this is what they do. This is really what they do. And they're not sending my link out to people. I shared it with about 5 people, and I know they would have popped on. That's why I keep thinking somebody's gone. I'm thinking nobody's in here with me because it's just showing that I'm the only one in here. And that's me. It's not showing you guys in my chat. They dirty. They dirty, man. They dirty. That's why ain't nobody in here with us, y'all. Because I done shared it, but they probably didn't get it. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, y'all, we're going to look at this anyway. Somebody going to see it. And I know that though it say I ain't got but 60 views on my stuff, I know I got more than that. They ain't fooling me. I know they messing with my stuff. Yeah, they ain't got but 60 views out of videos from 5 years ago. Y'all know that ain't right. Here we go, y'all.
Pretext for it. Lincoln said, if, let's put it over here, Rick. Sorry about that, y'all. Lincoln said if he could, hold on. Lincoln said that if he could save the Union without freeing slaves, he would. So this time period had nothing at all to do with no damn slaves. Okay, Lincoln was not concerned about the conditions of so-called Negroes. He wasn't concerned about that. Okay, well, Lincoln also gave us the Emancipation Proclamation. Did he? Yeah, we learned about it in school. The Emancipation Compensation Act. The District of Columbia compensated Emancipation Act of 1862. I told you the time frame you're gonna be on. It's 1800s, okay? Was a law. That means it's legislation. That means it went through Congress. It went through the forms of government. It went through the executive and the legislative branch of government.
What's your question, Arthur? I'm so glad to know that y'all still in here because I'll be going crazy thinking ain't nobody in here. I'm glad to know that y'all know it too. Arthur, you say you have a question regarding this? You still here?
That ended slavery in Washington, D.C. and compensated owners of freed slaves.
Oh, okay.
They got compensated. I mean, they got a payout.
Let's see. Have you checked Lincoln's lineage? No, but I got Jefferson's in my tree. I got him. I got him. Thomas is in my tree. Yeah, I wondered that too, sis. Who was those damn slaves? See, because they not even, every time they talk about slaves, they don't bring in the Caucasian slaves. They always want to bring us in. So we're gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to do some research on that and find these Caucasians and the time frame that they was actually in servitude. I'm on it. Okay. Yeah, I'm on that. Well, somebody must have jumped in because they just told us 2 people in here, and we know 3 people is in here. Wow, YouTube, you're gonna have to get better trying to lie to me about how many people is in my chat. It could be 20 people in here, really, and they just got 2 people. Liars.
Emancipation, the act freed enslaved people in the District of Columbia. Compensation. The act provided $300 in compensation to former owners who were loyal to the Union for each freed slave. Now, the reason I bring this point up because right now, another hot topic in California right now is reparations. If you guys are not watching the news, the very hot topic in
a minute, Arthur and Sharon, I believe we're going to see who was the slave owners because that rebel man, He was a slave owner. So we were slave owners, so they had to be the slaves. See, but they okay, let's go.
California right now is dealing with reparations. Okay, so-called black people want to get reparations. They want to get reparations. Oh, peace, Queen. What's going on? Queen of Forest Healing Ministry, late to class. Might have a doctor's note. Okay, all right. We ain't gonna write you up this time. We're gonna give you a pass this time. And I had to come over here because TikTok was wigging out on me, man. Like for sure. What did good brother say? Look up Lincoln Freedom for Blacks and Whites. That's the party they hid. I gotta look into that for sure.
That's the party.
So
Same thing
the question I asked you, did any so-called black people receive
somebody
any
had the
compensation
same question we
act?
just had?
Let's see, because there were black slave owners, in case you guys didn't know.
But there was also white slaves. That's what you should have said, though, Minister of Music.
Money.
I mean, Minister of Information. You should have said there was also white slaves.
Just
like you said, there was also black
I gotta find his name real quick. I'm gonna find it. Give me a second. Originally sponsored by Senator Henry Wilson of Massachusetts, the act freed slaves in the District of Columbia and compensated the owners up to $300 for each free person. In the months following the enactment of the law, commissioners approved more than 930 petitions, granted freedom to 2,989 former slaves. So 2,989 people who were enslaved were now set free. This is prior to 1865.
Let's see this. Hold on. Free slaves in the District of Columbia and compensated owners up to $300 for each free person. In the months following the enactment of the law, commissioners approved more than 930 petitions, granted freedom to 2,989 people. Okay, now those right there, that number right there, we know that number right there mighty damn small. That's a mighty small little number right there, y'all. What? Let's see who they were. We're going to find out who they were right now. Former slaves. And another thing, I wonder how many Caucasian freedmen do we have?
This is prior to, what do you call it? Juneteenth, 1866, Galveston, Texas. This is prior to that. This is way before that. This is years before that happened. Okay. You guys see that? So when it comes to compensation, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation in 63. This is prior to 63. This is 62. See? This is 62. So, and the reason again that I'm showing you guys this, it sets up the pretext to let you know what was really happening in the 1800s in America. Like we had some leverage. Give me 1 second, family. I gotta find the guy. I gotta grab my cell phone real quick. I'm gonna show you the black slave owner who received compensation too. He already received reparations.
See right there up. Right there. Well, no Caucasians over here to marry us to take our land. That didn't happen like that. That did not happen like that. That was them black Moors marrying us. That didn't happen like that. The Crackers didn't do that. The Caucasians didn't do that. I beg to differ on that. I have to come with it. We wasn't lightened. We wasn't lightened. We was actually darkened. Go figure that one out. Because the crackers that came in see, you're looking at white slaves that came here in the 1600s. What you looking at the word where it says, wait a minute. The white slaves that came here in the 1600s. Okay, you got to give me that documentation because I don't know of any Caucasian slaves coming here in 1600. You got to give me some information on that, Sister Sharon, because the 1600 was of colonies, European colonies. Had nothing to do with the slavery. It was the colonies that was given the Europeans, which they was melanated, copper-colored people, and they was given charters to come here to set up these colonies. 1600 was England, 1700 was France, and the 1800 was Spain. This is how it happened. It happened in different 100 years. Each 100 years, one of them came upon us. They trying to act like, the European came upon us and took over the whole 50 states of this whole country. That ain't how it happened. You say what happened to them? Example, Georgia, the penal colony. All of it's supposed to have been a penal colony, right? I thought, help me out. I thought it all was supposed to have been a penal colony. Each one of those 13 colonies, supposedly, this is the lie that they first gave us, and we, you know what I'm saying, taught us in school. And then after it became the colonies, after they did that, then all of a sudden we started hearing they came because of their religious persecution. But how you come to another people's land and persecute them with your damn religion? Fact. We were the teachers here, and we were the ones that was, had it going on here. But in 1865, see, that's the key time right there. The 1865 so-called World War, or whatever that war was they call themselves had. That's the date right there to keep in mind, because it never happened like they said. That's why they have to do the theaters of wars, and they have to do all these reenactments to keep that in some people's head. But the only war it really was them dropping bombs on us and giving our shit to their own people. That was the war, making us prisoners of wars in our own land. That's how I see it. They barely knew. Absolutely, they knew none of this language that we know. They came over here with different names and everything. So how we get their name? It's impossible. We could never have their name, And this is the thing that we got to break the cycle. We got to make sure that everybody knows. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Why should I just be sitting here watching other folks when I got information to share? Though this is his information, but I got some more going to add with this. You know what I'm saying? I want to start with this so it can put you on it. Y'all can go finish watching that video on your own. But I'm building from someplace, building off of something else to make it, that's all. I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. I'm just doing the best I can to give out the information that I feel like our people need. Thank y'all for being here.
I posted this over my TikTok a little while ago. Give me a second to find him.
Now, y'all.
Put his name right up there in the search again so you guys can see who I'm talking about. And that actually blew my mind. I'm like, wait a minute.
How did he get reparations? Stop playing with my feed.
What's my question? But he actually got reparations.
Tell them too. They just don't know. I will call them.
Give me a second. Let me look this brother up. And it blew me away. Reparations. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I forgot. So there's another one. There's another compensation act that was passed too. So write down the Emancipation Compensation Act, but there's one more act that was passed. This is called the Slave Act of 1837. The Slave Compensation Act of 1837. Now, we just seen the one of 1862, right? We just saw that one. The Slave Compensation Act of 1837 was passed in the United Kingdom to compensate slave owners for their loss of property
after slavery was abolished. Now, this says in slavery was never abolished in the United Kingdom. This is dealing with their colonial property, their colonial states. The act was intended to benefit slave owners who had already enriched themselves through buying and selling slaves. Y'all see this already? So we talk about reparations. Reparations been given out already. The act gave the commissioners for the reduction of the national debt the power to pay slave owners compensation in two ways: West Indian compensation account, pay compensation out of the West Indian compensation account. Government annuities transfer a proportionate amount of 3.5% government annuity. The British government paid out approximately $20 million of pounds, which is more than dollars, 20 million pounds in compensation to the slave owners for over 40,000 awards. The act did not compensate enslaved people, and none of the money was sent to the slaveholders in British North America. However, Canada became a free territory for enslaved American blacks, and thousands of fugitive slaves and free blacks moved there between 1834 and the early 1860s. The Slave Compensation Act of 1837 widened the compensation to cover the owners of any African slave in the colony. You guys see that? Crazy. They had a whole reparations commission already.
A reparation commission.
Okay. Let's dig a little bit further into this. So I just want to show you guys the two compensation pieces. Now, I still didn't find the guy's name. I'm still looking on my page for this guy. And he was a black slave owner who received compensation.
Hey y'all, I just found something. Check this out. Shout out to it's 4 of y'all in here now that's showing me 4. It might be 40 because they hide my people from me. 3 people was in here and they showed me wasn't nobody in here but me. That's crazy. Okay, y'all. I just asked AI. Who was, you remember he said it was 2,989 former slaves, right? I just asked AI, who was the 2,989 former slaves freed in 1834? Check out what it said. It said the 2,989 former slaves were freed under the District of Columbia Emancipation Act. So, let's see. This act signed by President Abraham Lincoln on April 16, 1862, provided for the immediate emancipation of slaves in the District of Columbia. Okay, now let's be clear. Where is the District of Columbia, y'all? Everybody ought to get that. Everybody ought to get an A for that question. Everybody ought to get an A for that question. I can't see the chat right now, but I'll be back over there because I'm on my phone looking at this. Okay, so we know the District of Columbia is the 14 square mile of what? Is it 13, 14 square miles of Washington, D.C., right? Had nothing to do with the rest of this here place. So, excuse me, those 3,000 folks almost was in Washington as slaves. Is that clear? Is that to be understood? Is that what y'all see? That those Washington slaves of Lincoln. Ooh, we are finna find out. Could have been them pale-skinned slaves. Woo, we gonna find out. It says, it also includes compensation to lawyer. See, that's probably why they compensated them. Ooh, what you think? That's a possibility. We're gonna find out though, y'all. We're gonna unpack this. It said it also includes the compensation to lawyer unionists. So the union was involved in this. They said that was the reason why the fight was so hard, because the union wasn't getting no money from the fact that down south was getting money for shipping off their agriculture and their textiles. So the union up there with the industrial wanted their hand in the pie. That's what I understood. Y'all let me know in the chat if y'all understood it the same way. I'm going to keep reading this and then I'm coming back over there in a minute. It says that the unionists, and I'm going to show y'all this about them unions. Y'all going to see, man, them unions ain't never been what we thought they would. The unionist slave owners and voluntarily colonization of former slaves outside the United States. Okay. So we know the unionists and the slave situation went hand in hand. Okay, let me come back over here and see what y'all doing. I'll answer another question in a minute. Shout out to the 5. It look like 5 up in here, and there might be 50 because they lying to me. Y'all, they're sandbagging me. Let's see. Ain't nobody spoke? Ain't nobody spoke, but it said 5 people in here. YouTube, you need to stop. Or the people, something needs to stop. Yeah, the unionists. Let's get it going. Let's get it. Shout out to the 5 in here sandbagging. It's all right. We just playing a video and unpacking it. Welcome to Mama Chief Live with Sharon and Arthur Brown up in here with me. I appreciate y'all so much.
It's on my TikTok. Might have got blocked.
Let's see what else.
No, on TikTok, they might have took it down. But at any rate, I'll find them in a second and pull them up. I just want you guys to see that information. Now, let's get into the black rule, which is the topic at hand, real quick. But we have to disarm the idea. We have to disarm the idea that we all were enslaved. I think that's part of the psychoneurosis. Let's look at some numbers real quick.
Still enslaved, if that be the case.
In 1860, there were approximately 500,000 free black people in the United States, in which 11% of African American population.
Talk about, wait a
this
minute,
number was made up of men and women.
This is when it makes me ill. When somebody is teaching our history and they're not going over all the history. Don't sit there and talk about black slaves when you don't talk about when you know that there was Caucasian slaves here too. What? That don't make sense to me. Tell the whole truth. Tell it all. Don't sit here and pick around this shit. Minister of information. I mean, really now, dude, it's time out for this here pick African American, black. No, when you say that, say us, indigenous. Those names was given upon us, and we don't have to keep wearing them. Not even in teaching. In teaching, teach it right. Fix the lies. Tell the truth. They're gonna keep making my story a mystery. I'm done with that. And I'm not critiquing you, brother. If you hear this, but this is what we need for y'all to do. Teach the children the truth. Because that right there, you just falsified some shit to me. Because you didn't say nothing about the pale skins that were slaves too. We got to bring all this truth in. We got to tell the truth. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to apologize for nothing.
Who were born free or who gained their freedom before the war. This is free people. About 500,000 black people were already free. So the question has to become in your mind, what were they up to? What were these?
Lincoln was the president of the United States. They said that it was only the 14 square miles of Washington, D.C. All the other several states was not part of this colonization. They just in time wrote it in, and it, to me, this is how I'm seeing it. So we got to unpack it. I'm just seeing that, they wrote in all this, just like they wrote in, like now, you can't find no word. Like this AI is new stuff. Don't tell me no African American. Tell me what we were really being called in 1860. You see what I'm saying? Don't sit here and read something and say 1860, approximately 500,000 free black folks. Was we called black in 1860? This is where the lies get all convoluted at, because whoever was here in 1860, they wasn't called black people. So what was they called? And who were they? Were they the indigenous people, or were they these fake ass natives you just said, bruh, that the black people taught them in the school? We know that they brought those Asiatic Mongolians to our schools for us to teach them. Let's unpack it like that. Let's unpack it like that. It wasn't that. Come on. Couldn't even speak. That's why they made up a Cherokee language, because they got all those people are mixed in their different nations. Now they had to make a language that they all could speak. And they used all their language to make up a so-called Cherokee language. They still over there making up languages. We ain't have to make up no language. And we didn't have to learn African or another language from somewhere else. We were here speaking, and we speaking now what we were speaking then. Why are people lying to us? Oh, I forgot. Because we letting them. I forgot. Because we letting them. I'm not letting them no more. I'm sorry. Couldn't be called black. You couldn't call my oh, I know this. That's what I'm saying. That wasn't even word then. We're talking about 1860. Shout out to the 6 that's listening under my voice. Shout out to you. Great continuation. If you don't bid me one, then so be it. It's on you, my love. Okay, Sharon. Right. Arthur, a fight was at hand, calling us back. I know it. And then some people end up got the little attitude when they would tell somebody, "Well, you can kiss my black," then and then they start saying, "Oh, well, I ain't got to do nothing but stay black and die." You remember those sayings? But we wasn't literally walking around here saying we was the black people. Because we learned colors in school. And every time we painted out, did a picture of our family, we didn't draw no damn black people. We draw brown people.
500,000 black people were doing. Now, if the other black people that we were taught about in history were not freed until 1865, for the next 5 years, what were these 500 Negroes doing?
That's my brother.
Take a guess.
That's everybody else.
And we haven't even got to the land grants and the what was known as Special Field Order Number 15, which you guys call 40 acres and the mule. Watch when I show you who the land was going back to. And Special Field Order Number 15, they say that it was a redistribution of land to so-called Negroes. I say redistribution. Re means to do, re means to give, hold on, wait a minute. I know what the word re means. I totally know what the word re means. So then I asked myself, if they were redistributing the land back to these Negroes under the 40 acres and the mule by way of the Freedmen's Bureau, by way of the War Department, when did they get put off the land? If they were inviting them back to the land under the 40 acres and the mule, because I'm going to show you in a second. The 40 acres and the mule was an invitation to come back on the land. Now, of course, it was.
Now, right there, I got a documentation from a Caucasian that got the 40 acres. Okay? So that proves to me that we wasn't the one getting the 40 acres. That's how right now, out here where I live, out here in down south, these people got that 40 acres. These Caucasians, Keisha Murphy. Hey, niece, how you doing, baby girl? It is so good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Wow, that's blessed. That's bliss right there. I appreciate seeing. Yeah. Where was it? Oh yeah, about the 40 acres, y'all. They were slaves. I'm saying, out here where I live now in this rural area, these Caucasians out here got big mansion houses. They listen, and one of them, I remember my brother-in-law said, "But how many acres you got around here, man?" He said, "Oh, it's just about 40." And right there, my head went boom. But I do have information because this was in my family that the Caucasian gave them some of his 40 acres of land to build a church on. The church is right up the street now. I found it about 5 years ago, 7 years now probably. Uh, that's my family graveyard and everything right there, But I got the picture of the Caucasian, y'all. I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna go find it. It's up here in one of these books. I'm gonna look and find it. Where he's standing on the land and the writing of the right, what it's talking about is in the writing. So I'm finna look for that now while we listen to this, okay?
Unfortunately vetoed by President Andrew Johnson, the 17th president of America. So let's go here. It says in 1860, approximately 500,000 Black people in the United States, which were about 11% of the African American population. This number was made up of men and women who were born free or gained their freedom before the war.
Absolutely.
Let's keep going. Here's some more information about free Black people in the 1860s. Free population in the North, about 47%. That's approximately half. 47% of the free Black population, or 226,000 people, lived in free states. Free population in the South, the number of free Blacks in the South was much smaller than the North. For example, in 1860, there were only 144 free Black people in Arkansas, 773 in Mississippi, 932 in Florida. Free Black population in Virginia. On the eve of the American Civil War, there were 58,042 free Black people in Virginia, which 44% of the free Black population in the future Confederacy. So see how they tell you that only where it says free Black population in the South. Y'all see that? It said in 1860 only 144 was free in Arkansas, and 773 in Mississippi, and 932 in Florida. But you see how they separated Virginia from the South? Virginia was the South.
Wait a minute.
So
Wait a minute. I wasn't listening. Wait a minute. Hold on. What you
42. You have to add the 773.
Wait a
the
minute. Wait. The number of free Black people in the South was smaller than the North. For example, in 1860, there were only 144 free Black people in Arkansas. That's a damn lie. Oh man, I don't believe that at all. Do y'all? Remember I just showed you the thank you, darling. Thank you. You remember I just showed y'all where the slave ship on slave boys, talking about the Atlantic slave trade, right? It had where they were taking people from Alexander, Virginia to New Orleans and Arkansas. But before they could get there to the destination, they said they don't know what their fate was, y'all. And these people were, what it said on there? Copper colored. They had some yellow looking people. They said they had some black looking people on there. But they never said they had no white people on there. But they never made the destination. What does that mean? It seemed like to me they dropped them in the water before they got there. Because at the destination, they wasn't there. So they supposed to have been taking all these people to New Orleans and never made it. Because New Orleans was already packed with people, of course. Okay, yeah, I'm finna put it back on. I don't know. I don't know these numbers and because I got records for 1860. I'm finna look and find out how many of my family members was alive talking about free. Okay. You know they lie.
44, then 932. Wait a minute, let's go to Texas. You have to add the 355 from Texas and add all those people up.
What from Texas?
Add all of them up. That's how many free black people or free people of color by way of what was called manumission, or they were born free. For example.
Okay. Now, mind you, we're in 1860, y'all. Right here, we're in 1860, and we got less than 1,000 people. That's free. Numbers aren't adding up. They're not adding up. Because, remember, 1865 is supposed to be their world's war, right? 1865 is when they were bombing and the Reconstruction. So what's all this Reconstruction? What's the world going on, y'all, for real? That's what I'm saying. They lie. This is a lie right here to me. Because on the eve, it says, of the Civil War, which that's supposed to be in 1865, there were 58,000 free black people. How did number change? Do y'all see that? Where all them people come from? We were just in 1860, so 5 years later, now we got 58,000 people, free black people now. I wonder who they were. See, because what is not being said here from Minister of Information is that these Moors, what's that? Carolina Sundry Act, these Moors, the Yamasee Moors, the Washita Moors, the Moors. Listen, truth be told, we got to unpack this shit. I don't care who family it is. Somebody got to stop lying to me. No, we talking about, but we talking about 1865. Your grandma wasn't born before that. But I'm just saying, they sit there and just told us it wasn't even 1,000 free 5 years prior. How 5 years later it's 58,000? Who is they? Where they come from? If y'all already did your calculation. I don't know. I'm just saying, y'all. I hope y'all paying attention. Not just sitting up in this chair. I hope y'all got y'all notes like me, because I'm writing notes. I'm asking AI some questions. They done filled it up with all their little answers. I want to see how you come. You know? And I'm also got books and researching, because I'm not going to keep being lied to with these people. This some bull crap right here, free black population. Well, that is in Virginia. Okay, and the other one was what, in Tennessee or somewhere? So what? Oh, wow. Y'all see that? I'm going to go back now. I see something. Let me see what I see. I saw something. Let me see what I see, y'all.
60, only 144 was free in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And 773
that was supposed to be only in the South, y'all. That little 1,000 supposed to have been up in the South. I mean, down. Yeah, I'm right. I mean, okay, so That little free, those were supposed to be the free population of the black in the South. And then so this 58,000 supposed to be the free blacks in Virginia. Okay, but let's be clear and let's remember, down south was the last to be colonized by them. Well, see, we're in the 1800s now, so we're being colonized now by Spain. Spain had already come up in Florida, right? They had already come up and colonized Florida. Uh, and I'm thinking they had a lot to do with the Louisiana too, but it was French and Spain and something together or something. But 1860, we talking about 5 years before the Reconstruction. So when you think about Virginia and the Carolinas being the major hub of the colony and what was really going on, right? Am I right, y'all? That, and then you see the number. You see why? Because down in the South area, that was us Indians. So they just put them little numbers on there like that, right? Because we had been colonized by all the forces of the Moors and the people who came in upon us. But we got to remember, we had already been manipulated in the 1600s by England, in the 1700s by France, and then here come the 1800s, here come these niggas, the Spanish. So who and what is what? Who is he? Who is who? Because like Metamateria said the other day, they wouldn't bring no women with them. They wasn't bringing no women, so who was they coming over here? Okay, y'all.
He was in Florida, but you see how they separated Virginia from the South? Virginia was the South. So if Virginia had 58,042, you have to add the 773, the 144,
Yeah.
the 932. Wait a minute, let's go to Texas. You have to add the 355
all
in
they
Texas
said was in
and
Texas.
add all
Y'all
those people
know
up.
that ain't right.
Add all of them up. That's how many free black people or free people of color by way of what was called manumission, or they were born free. For example.
So who was the other?
For example.
Wait a minute.
Let's get into this guy right here, real.
No. So who was the other copper color people here around 1860 or 1865 when we so-called was having this war and this reconstruction? Because of the fact that 1880 something, that them ships from Ellis Island and Angel Island hadn't got here yet. So who the hell is all these folks? Where they come from? Are they the remainers of the last 200 years? Mating with us and make it, you know what I'm saying? Because we got 200 years prior that we've had other people to come in and mingle. Just like they're doing right now, Keisha. For real. So I'm just saying, who is all these people? That from these three places, he said Texas, and y'all know how Texas is. Texas was not part of the colonies of the 13 colonies, remember? Neither was Louisiana. But they was already ruled by, run by Spain. That's why they wasn't in the 13 colonies. They had already been colonized. That's why you got all those little stucco buildings in Florida and up in California that they done put over there to act like the Moors did this, did that. Yo, come on, we got to see this thing for what it really is. We really got to see it for what it really is. All them business. I remember when that Caucasian little dude came looking like Jesus, and he was starting trying to tell everybody, yeah, the Moors did that, not Them little building down there, a good strong wind will come and blow them down. Appreciate the sixes in the chat. Shout out to you. Great continuation.
Quick. Hiram Rebels. I've talked about him several times, and you guys know I have. Let's do some digging on Hiram Rebels real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hiram Rebels. We're talking about the time frame. He was born in 1827. He passed away in 1901. Was an American Republican politician. That should sit.
Yes, you did, Arthur, but making it clear that it wasn't no Caucasian. It was those Moors or those melanated people that looked like us. Because it wasn't no Caucasian, Spanish, French, or England. They all looked like us. So yes, they did. You did say that, absolutely. They married our women, our people. But most people will want to say that the Caucasian did all of this. That's the point. Every time they hear the word European, they think it's a Caucasian. And I beg to differ. I beg to differ. And I got one picture I can show y'all where I can show you where the darker people darkened us more so than anybody lightened us. Now, after they got here and they started mixing that's a whole total different story. Children don't even come out, their brains don't even act right when they mix with them people like that. I'm sorry. I see some of them, they be acting kind of weird. I mean, I know a lot of them, they have a lot of issues because they either had to try to maneuver in the world of the black side or the white side. They had to make a lot of decisions, so it confused them and made them to be some other type of people. You understand what I'm saying? I got a little brother, and I have to tell him all the time. Now we find out that his mama, it wasn't his daddy, it wasn't his mama that was pale skin. His mama is a Indian from Texas, I think. So I was able to tell him, boy, you still an Indian. You know what I'm saying?
The red flag up right there. That sits in the red. What are you saying? No enslaved person received reparations. Right. The reparations are for the owners. My point is, we're talking about reparations. You're not going to get reparations unless you was an owner. That's why I showed you those two different acts. Now, however, I'm going to keep digging and find the brother who proclaimed. I'm telling you what he did. He bought himself out of slavery, and then he purchased his wife and his family. So that made him by default a slave owner, and he received compensation from this act. But the compensation or the reparations.
Okay, go figure again on some of the not the slaves, but some of the censuses. They are slave schedules there. And it ain't nowhere where nobody bought, but it says the head of household, and it says he's the slave owner. And I think it's my fourth. Fourth means almost like at the bottom, fourth from my mom, right? And I mean from my dad, because that's on my dad's side. And this lady is actually absolutely from Chad. Okay? And she's his baby girl. She ain't but 2 years old when she gets here. But she's on the schedule as a slave. Because this is how they chose, because they could choose, right, to make forms and paperwork up the way they damn wanted to. So here they is making up records of slaves, and they doing it like they want to, y'all. That's how I see that. They did it like they want to, because I got plenty of slave schedules where my folks supposed to be some slave owners. But that was their family. But this is the way they set this record up so they could tell these lies. So that this is how they orchestrated a lot of their stuff. The pen is mightier than the sword. But their sword has been so many other things against us. And I'm going to show y'all if y'all bear with me, because I'm going to show you all how they farmed us, how everything. Man, listen, I'm going to show you if you bear with me. I promise you. The absolute worst organization out, yeah, the church. I mean, because they all came here with for their religious freedom, but they pushed it on us. And they pushed us, you know what I'm saying? They maneuvered us with their religion, and we fell into it. You know, I mean, hey, uh, the sword. What do they say? The Bible or the sword? Which one you gonna choose? You know. And then they claim they gave us liquor and shit. By the time we open our eyes from saying someone let's pray, we had the Bible and they had the land. Y'all heard them stories before? It's like they got us drunk. You know. That's one of the little stories they tell. I don't believe the Indians that damn much paper completed that damn much paperwork answering questions from strangers. No, 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 no. These was not even that kind of documents. These documents is like stuff, like you said, something they made. They wouldn't even ain't nobody did had nothing to do with that, Sharon. Like you said, ain't nobody did nothing like that. Record doesn't show slave, it shows label for my grandfather. Okay. Mm-hmm.
As we know, as reparations, reparations compensation, same difference. Um, the reparations were only for the owners because the enslaved people was looked at as property, and the government said, well,
1860. Okay.
if you are a free man of lawful age and good repute, you have to right to own your property, whether it be a car, horse and carriage, or another person. Now, how did people become property? We can deal with that also by them losing their nationality. And I can show you what Lincoln declared them as contrabands of war. Just off the cuffs, dealing with the word emancipation, that simply means property anyway. All right, so they were always declared property. And another day of the time, we'll deal with that relegation. But you're absolutely right. No, see, in order to receive reparations or compensation, you had to be a landowner. You had to be a landowner. You had to be a landowner. Now, when they got offered the 40 acres to come back into the territory of the southeast region of North America, they were declared landowners, but it only lasted for a short time. So part of the reparation, part of the compensation was to give them back their territory.
What?
All right. But I get there in a second. But you're absolutely correct. Slave owners, whether black or white, not slave receive reparations. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely correct. Okay. Now, let's get to Black Rule, which is why we're here. Hiram Revels, an American Republican politician, minister in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and you'll see a lot of the brothers in this time frame were of the clergy. Okay, what did it say, y'all? He was what? He was born free. He was born free, which means his mother was free, which means her mother was free, which means as far as his bloodline goes back, they always been free. Well, how do you know that? How can you make a statement like that? Because in this time period, okay, in this time period, they were under a condition. What was it called? What was the condition called? What's the condition that the slave child is under his mother? I'm gonna kick myself in the butt for not knowing this word. In the colonial Virginia and other English crown colonies in Americas, the legal doctrine partus secura, that's what it's called, vitra, partus secura vitra. And the reason I made the statement that Hiram Revels was born free because his mother, any person of color in the colonies, was born since 1662, was born under the conditions of his mother. In the Virginia colonies, in the early English crown colonies, the America, the legal doctrine partus securum vitrum mandated that children born to enslaved mothers would inherit their mother legal status as slaves. The doctrine was passed in 1662 and was significantly shifted from English law, which inherited status from their father. So in England, they would inherit the status from their father. But because
wait, y'all. Yo, check this out. I just now add this doggone thing. Woo! I say, where in Africa was the 2,989 former slaves? No, I asked this something else first. Let me go over here first. Let me. Y'all, this daggone thing right here, I promise you. Okay, let me go to my notebook. Cause I gotta tell y'all what I asked this thing. This thing right here is, oh my goodness. I don't even believe half of the stuff. I mean, I believe it, but I just don't believe that they telling it like that. But they gotta tell it because you asked them.
A ton of so-called slavers or white masters were impregnating these Negro women. They had to change their status. Y'all follow what I'm saying? Okay, so that's why I say that Hiram Revels, as far as it goes back, he had to be a free man because this condition goes back to 1662. Let's read more. The practice of hereditary slave meant that children were born into slavery and would remain enslaved for life. It created a constant supply of people to perform labor. This was a labor class. On a large plantation, enslaved women would often be designated to care for children during the day while their parents worked. Slave children faced many challenges, including fear of punishment and isolation. They often worked in fields, tended animals, and served in their owner's house. So let's write this down. Let's write down partus circularum ventrum. Partus circularum ventrum. Partus circularum ventrum. This is dealing with status. This was an inherited status, which was a law in the colonies since 1662, that a enslaved African woman, all of her seeds will be born in her condition, which means if your mother was an enslaved person in the Americas in this time frame, and she gave birth to you, sisters, ladies, you're listening. All the ladies are listening. Ladies, if your mother gave birth to you in this time frame, your mother was an enslaved lady, you would also be an enslaved lady. Guess what your children would be by default? Enslaved children. And the cycle will continue to go on and on and on under this condition, partus circularum ventrum. Okay? This is a condition. This is why I can make the statement that Hiram Revels, his whole bloodline had to be free, or for him to be born free. Because this condition existed during the 1800s. Does it still exist today? I never seen it vetoed to get rid of. But anyway, Hiram Revels was born free in North Carolina. So he was born in 1827 in North Carolina. Moors, who else was born in the state of North Carolina? Put it in the comments, Moors. Who else was born in the state of North Carolina? Who else was born in the state of North Carolina shortly after his brother was born in North Carolina?
Man, I messed up.
1 Timothy Drew, was he not born in North Carolina? And we're going to deal with the Carolinas in a second as well. That part follows the belly in English translation. Yep. Yep. You're absolutely correct. That's what that means. And see, this is what we get, and I won't get into it right now because it'd be a whole nother sidebar conversation, but this is what we get into, like your status in law, things like birth certificates and social security cards, and the fact that you're now wards of the state or still chattel property in this matrix system. The word matrix also means from the womb. This is what puts you inside the matrix, which is the womb or from the womb. That's what the term matrix means. Why the one scene of Neo being reborn in the first Matrix was such a significant scene of the movie, because the word matrix itself means from birth or from the womb. Thus the term matriarch which is referring to the female. Now, the offspring, he was born free. Back to this. He was born free. He later lived and worked in Ohio, where he voted. He voted? I didn't know Negroes can vote. I thought we had to fight. I thought they were telling us we had to die to vote. We had to die to vote? No, he voted before the Civil War. Elected by Mississippi legislation. He was elected. So all this talk of Negroes being in chain and coming out of slavery and being docile and couldn't read and write, and was it legal to read and write? Now there was conditions like that, but there was just the enslaved population. And I can show you more proof that there were two different classes of people in this time frame. You had what was called the freed.
Okay, y'all, I messed up because I had I literally deleted my stuff, so I had to go back and try to remember what I had asked this thing. But I asked it, where in Africa? Because it said that they was African Americans, right? Y'all, I can't see the chat yet, but I'm coming back to y'all. It says that they was African Americans that was freed in Virginia, right? So I asked this thing, where in Africa is the 2,989 former slaves taken to Virginia and when, right? It said the first enslaved Africans arrived in Virginia in 1618. That's the story we got, right? Let's see how they're going to spin it. These individuals was taken from the region of Angola in Central Africa. They were captured by Portuguese colonial forces and then transported across the Atlantic. And that's what I know to be true. They were actually a lot of Portuguese too that they brought here. The exact number of the enslaved people brought to Virginia carried over time between 1628 and 1773. Approximately 74,015 enslaved people were brought to Virginia from various regions in Africa. So when they said that 58,000, you remember I asked y'all who was all them people? They said probably 74 right there. It was an invasion. It says these regions included, y'all got y'all notes, right? Come on, we're going to research, right? We're going to unpack this. These regions included the Bight, B-I-G-H-T, of Biafra, B-I-A-F-R-A, and Gulf of the Guinea Island. Okay? Number 2, Senegambia and offshore Atlantic. Number 3, West Central Africa and St. Helena. The Gold Coast, Windward Coast. I never heard of this, y'all. Bight of Benin, Southeast Africa, and the Indian Ocean Islands. So those are some of them Indians they be talking about, huh, y'all? Sierra Leone. Okay, I'm finna come and see what y'all saying.
Or free Negroes or free people of color, and then you have the enslaved people who were under servitude. Okay, I can also show you several black slave owners in this time frame, because the way they taught us this. Now, slavery itself, I don't condone hatred or hate speech, but the way slavery was itself, it was a pretty rotten deal. But we don't find that out until history class when we go to school. While it was happening, it was pretty profitable to have a person come work for you under a laborious condition. But see, what they show us is the pictures from the 1800s of Negroes in cotton fields. And then they feed you the narrative of the slave ships from Africa.
It's crazy.
Those are two totally different time frames. Two totally different time frames. By the time we start picking cotton in the South, 1808, they outlawed international slave trade from Africa. There were no Africans coming into North America at this time frame. And any Africans that came into North America had been here since 1600s.
See, they just said,
and there was only 9 of them.
y'all.
I'm sorry, 15 of them that came to North America.
No.
And I cannot emphasize this more. Anytime you hear anybody talking about the out of Africa slave trade, you have to question them, family. I beg y'all, question them and scrutinize them. Ask them, what time period did they come to North America from Africa? And they may well give you a time frame. Then you ask them, what were the Africans doing when they got here?
That's what
I'm
gonna go with.
Show me in a textbook, pull up Google, show me what they were like. What were their jobs when they got here from Africa? Because last I checked, tobacco don't grow in Africa, nor does rice, and nor does cotton. None of those GDPs or gross domestic products grow in Africa. So what did you have these Africans doing in North America in this time frame in the 1600s? And see, the reason you ask them what date they were here, because there were only about 9 colonies and 16 anything. You don't get the rest of the colonies to the 1700s. You don't get the settlement of what you call.
True. So that means that with each colony, we got to find. Oh, listen to me, y'all. I'm finna make us have a school over here. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm finna put y'all to work. I'm like, we finna find out what they were doing in each one of these colonies and each time of them time frame they just mentioned. Look, y'all, I'm
North and South Carolina. There was no North and South Carolina. There was no Georgia. There was no Tennessee. There was no Alabama or Mississippi. That was all called Spanish Florida.
That's okay. Did I just tell y'all?
So this is why it's important to ask them the dates. Spanish. And you have a chronological timeline when you're having these discussions with people about when did these Africans come to North America.
Timeline. That's right.
When? So these Africans came from Africa on slave ships to North America. They were transported here, and magically, by some grace of imagination, they didn't attend no college because there were no HBCUs until 1890. Now there were land grant colleges like Hampton Institute for Indians prior, but the Morrill Act. Show what the Morrill Act is real quick. I think I'm making up stuff. We'll go back to Hiram in a second. The Morrill Act for Black people wasn't until 1890.
The Morrill Act?
This is called the Morrill Act.
Okay.
The Morrill Act, also known as the Morrill Land Grant College of 1862. This was not for HBCUs. HBCUs happened in 1890. I'll show you in a second. Was a law established a system of land grant colleges and universities in the United States. The act's purpose was to create colleges and would benefit agriculture and mechanic arts. That's A&M. Anybody familiar with Florida A&M?
Yeah.
Put 111 in the comments if you're familiar with Florida A&M. Yeah. A&M stands for agriculture and mechanics.
Just like, they always
Texas A&M.
That's
these
right.
A&M colleges or HBCUs, their purpose were to teach.
That's right. That's right.
They had Negro teachers in there.
That's
so
right.
you ask yourself,
George Washington, Harvard, all these schools was about agriculture and mechanics, for real.
In the 1800s, because this is what's taught in school. It was illegal for slaves to read and write.
Y'all remember when we used to have it in school too? In my school, we used to have a home ec. They used to have a shop. The boys used to have a shop and mechanics. Yes, they did in school. And they taught us how to do seeds and make food, all that stuff in school back in the day. Don't have it now, the whole thing.
I just showed you the vast population, over 500,000 free Negroes already thriving in this time period. And we haven't even talked about Mounds Bayou yet. We haven't even talked about Weeksville yet. We haven't discussed anything yet of significance to show you the opposite of history. This is the actual history that was happening. They have our minds warped into thinking that we were all picking cotton. and getting our tails beat. And I can't emphasize to y'all enough that all those slave movies that we've been taught and we are familiar with, like Roots and 12 Years a Slave and Django, and those movies took place in the 1800s.
Yep.
You can't find a slave movie that took place prior to the 1800s. They got Amistad, but Amistad is a depiction of the 17 or 15 so Africans who were intercepted. I think the ship was called the White Lion, which was a Spanish ship from Spain, who were transporting Africans. I think they're from Angola, I want to say, or Sierra Leone coast. They were transporting them somewhere near Mexico or in the Central America region, and the ship was intercepted, and they were brought to Fort Comfort, Virginia, better known as Hampton, Virginia today. And it was stated that one of those Africans who were brought from the USS Amistad, she was with child. And she ended up giving birth to her child while in Virginia. Guess what her child would be? The first African American. Literally.
Right. Literally.
Like literally. It's not about status. That was her. That was the first African American being born on U.S. soil. To record.
But not U.S. on American. Come on American soil, dude. This is still America. It's the United States inside of America. Let's not keep twisting this shit up. Babies ain't gonna never learn if you keep doing this. This is America. The United States is a corporation inside of America with 13 colonies as of the 1800s.
Back to this. If you're familiar with A&M, if you're familiar with these different HBCU colleges, they all fell under what was called the Morrill Act. But the Morrill Act itself didn't grant land to Negro colleges to 1890. The act granted each state 30,000 acres of public land for each representative and senator in Congress. The land was distributed in form of land scrip certificates. The states could use the land to finance existing institutions or charter new schools. What was the significance? The Morrill Act laid the foundation for a national system of state college and universities. It also made each state responsible for educating its citizens. History. The Act's first proposal by Senator Justin S. Morrill of Vermont, while he was serving in the House of Representatives, the president signed the bill into law July 1862. You're not going to be able to escape the 1800s. When it comes to the history of the so-called Negroes, 1800 to 1925, that's the only time period you need to concern yourself with. If you really want to find out what happened to us, like, what the hell happened to us?
About that, y'all, in the chat.
What happened to us? And this is what's so confusing to our people in North America.
I know that's right, y'all.
It's mind-boggling if you buy into the out of Africa script during the slave trade, because there's two different scripts out of Africa, y'all. There's the out of Africa slave trade, which they try to link our lineage to, and then there's the out of Africa theory when it comes to science. Okay, and this is why Prophet Noble Drew Ali stated that according to science, black means death.
Yeah.
If you ever heard of that, press 222. If you've ever heard of the term, according to science, black means death. Drop a 222 in the comments if you ever heard that term, whether you're a part of the Moorish Science Temple or not. If you ever heard of, according to science, the term black means death. Now, we don't have to dive all the way into it to find out civil motifs, which is the political ramification.
The numbers don't match.
Nobody seems to ask the question, which science are we talking about? And this is how we know our people's minds are not in tip-top shape, because when you hear the word science, you probably think about earth science, you think about stones and stalactites, you think about earthworms and earth science and earthquakes and geography. That's only one type of science. So I had to go find out which science means death to Black. And I came across political science and social science. In both political science and social science, our people suffer the most from. So this is what this means. Anywho, back to this. Y'all know I can go on a tangent. So write down the Morrill Act, 1862. This gave way to land grant colleges and institutions. But the question you have to ask yourself, if it's 1862, and watch this. Negroes not allowed to read or write in 1800s. Real simple search. It was called the anti-literacy law. Now, as you read through this as I read this anti-literacy law, I want you guys to bear in mind, I'm about to show you the whole other side where you have to question this stuff. If there was such an anti-literacy law that made it illegal, look who is illegal for. I just showed you the 500,000 free Negroes. This doesn't apply to them. This has nothing to do with them. Because I'm going to show you those 500,000 or so free Negroes were the educators in these institutions that you know as HBCUs when the Indians started to go to those institutions. I'm going to show you in a second. Anti-literacy laws made it illegal for enslaved and free people of color to read or write. Does that make sense to y'all? Does that make sense? Chaim Rebels, which is only one brother I just showed you just now, who is a voting citizen running for Senate seat, and he won Senate, by the way. He was the first Black senator of Mississippi, the most racist, prejudiced state that we know of. Okay, one of them anyway, Mississippi. How was he able to become a senator? He had to have type of education. I'm sure of it. You can't be a senator and be illiterate. Well, we have Kamala, so that's questionable. But you have to have some type of education.
Yeah.
Some kind of smart vernacular. You have to have good rhetoric to be a politician of some sort, I would imagine. He wasn't the only one, because I'm about to show you a whole entire government of Negroes in South Carolina in a second. The whole entire government of South Carolina were Negro people. So this anti-literacy law could not be true. It can't be true. If we examine the literacy rate right now in 2024 of African Americans, the literacy rate is lower now than it was back then. And we have the ability to go to school and be educated. That's right. The literacy rates of African Americans in North America is worse off now than it was in 1834. Worse. If you guys are a little bit older, do you remember how much your grandparents, if you had older grandparents, how much they harped on education? Go to school and get your lesson. Get your education. You got to go to school. You got to go to school. That generation of Black people born between, I would say born between the 1920s and the 1960s, they harped on education. Education was major for them. I know my mother's mother dropped out of third grade. She couldn't read past third grade literacy, but that was due to the fact of the condition of what was happening at that time frame. So it says the Southern slave states enacted an anti-literacy law between 1740 and 1834.
Since I came back over here, I see y'all was over something. Let me see. This act was made in 1862 before they make it legal. Exactly. Sharon, there was thousands of us here. We fought, picked cotton, and went to HBC. That's a busy day, okay? But when you said thousands of us, Arthur, it reminded me of this book that I have that Tony wrote, and within it, it has 1,040 tribes in it. And yeah, 1,040 tribes. And I thought I'd call off a few of the names to see if anybody in life, maybe four of us in here, but maybe somebody in life might recognize some of them. They have the Ananani, the Abenaki, the Abenaki with the QUI, absolute. Damn, I wish I could show y'all. Wish I could just show you instead of trying to read some of these names out. Because, um, but of course, Algonquins is there, and I just looked up one of these. The first one, the Ananani, and it is. They say it's an Algonquin, but they have the Alabama Casada. Let me see if I see something else. They have Algonquin spelled twice, two different ways. Anacosia, the Nakatank, Anayanwea, Applegate. There's a tribe called the Applegate, the Appalachian, the Apache, Antonio Nino. It's a lot of different tribes, y'all. And that's just some of the A's. And the B you got. I'm going to try to do something I can read, okay? Bear River, Beaver, Bella Bella, Bella Coola, the Biloxi, Black Carrot, Blackfeet, Blackfoot, Blood Indians. In the sea, you got the Carib, you got the Carrier, Catawba, Central Pomo, Shata, Chippewadik, Chappaquiddick. I can't hardly see. The summer camps were all indigenous names. I can't remember any of those T-shirts though. But yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of some of these tribes and put them in the community wall so y'all can look at them, okay? But look, I ain't gonna tarry long. I'm gonna go and find me some dinner. I might come back tonight because I love to just hang out and just share and kick it with you guys. It's fun. So um, I'm not married. I don't have nobody, to be doing nothing else with. So I love to come on here and be with you guys. Um, so y'all, I think y'all can put stuff on the community. I don't know, but like and share and do me a favor. I know you subscribe here because you came, but tomorrow we're gonna be on the big channel where all my subscribers at. Cause I done used up all my time over there. Because I be on here too long and I ain't gonna, you have to pay like $200 to be on here like you want to, and I don't have that. So I'm gonna use all these channels and make me some more if I need one. Okay. So thank y'all so much for coming in with me today. Um, y'all know where that's at. That's over there on Chrome. Yeah.
Prohibiting anyone from teaching enslaved and free people of color to read and write.
Thank y'all for coming in.
Let's continue.
Again, y'all.
And this was the anti-literacy laws.
Been on an hour.
Between 1740 and 1867, anti-literacy laws in the United States prohibited enslaved and sometimes free.
Get out of here, okay?
See how it changes right here to sometimes free. Sometimes free Black Americans from learning to read or write. And the only reason I'm showing you guys this is just for context. When I start showing you these beautiful, brilliant Black people who started to invent things, crazy, fearing that Black literacy would prove a threat to the slave system, which relied on slave dependencies on masters, white in many colonies.
Ain't nobody white.
They still call them colonies.
And when they got
him,
see, Doris the hijack. Whites in many colonies. When they got him, Did y'all catch that? Please tell me y'all caught that with me. When did they get here? Because we've been talking about all these Africans, all these free black folk. When did the white people get here all of a sudden? Did I miss something? Cheryl, did I miss something? Did I miss something? This man said, he done showed us all these free black people. All these Africans coming here. You missed it. Okay, let's go back. I might have missed something. I might have missed something. Let's see what he's talking about, y'all.
Let's continue. And this was the anti-literacy laws. Between 1740 and 1867, anti-literacy laws in the United States prohibited enslaved and sometimes free. See how it changes right here to sometimes free. Sometimes free Black Americans from learning to read or write. And the only reason I'm showing you guys this is just for context. So when I start showing you these beautiful, brilliant Black people who started to invent things, crazy, fearing that Black literacy would prove a threat to the slave system, which relied on slave dependencies of masters, whites in many
colonies. When did the whites get to the colony? Come on, y'all, win. Let's go.
colonies. They still call them colonies. Whites and YTs, YT people, in many colony institutions, law forbidding slaves to learn to read or write, making it a crime to teach them. Now,
okay, here we go, y'all, with the lies. We're going to unpack this shit. I ain't finna go eat nothing. I'm mad now. Y'all, come on. I just asked this thing. Come on, good to see you again. Let's keep talking. Yeah, right. Exactly when did the whites get to the colonies, right? It said the first significant arrival of white settlers in American colonies began in the early 17th century. The Pilgrims, and we know they were black, so-called black, not white. This makes me mad, y'all. I'm sorry, I ain't screaming at y'all, but I just get excited. I just wish I could knock somebody's head off when I get this so excited. The Pilgrim arrived in 1620. I know for a fact that my 10th great grandpa arrived here, and he didn't ride here as no daggone pink pilgrim, nor was he pale skinned. At the present day Plymouth, Massachusetts. Yeah, he came through Rhode Island. He was the first. Come on, man. Y'all gonna stop lying. Seeking religious freedom. There they go. They were soon followed by the Puritans, who established the Massachusetts Bay Colony. But these were not Quakers. Let's be clear. The earliest successor English colony was Jamestown, Virginia in 1607. Yeah, we know all the stories of the colonies and shit. But now it has been declared. How was 58 African Americans up in Virginia? And all of us, I know that was 1800, but we're talking about 1600. 1600, I got colony records. I got colonial records of people being in these areas. How are they saying they white people? Y'all got it? How are they saying they white people when they get to talk about slavery? They get to talk about we was the one. But then you just showed all these free people, and then you showed them Africa, and then they were. I'm just done, y'all. I hope y'all got that right. We do understand that people still call themselves teaching lying to us because there's no way in the world that you're gonna sit here and say whites in many colonies when whites show me the white, show me your records. Somebody gotta have some records that show they white people up in there. That's what I'm saying, sis. But then they done sit here and snuck in these 74,000 Portuguese and Africans. Yeah, I hope y'all got that. Y'all can go listen to the rest of it if you want to, cause it was a 2 hour and 33 minutes, and appreciate y'all being here. I'm gonna get off of here and go find me something to eat for real, cause I hungry. I got hungry.
Shout out to the mama chief. Yeah, you be quiet when Big Mama speaks. What she gave us is a part of me. It flows through my arteries. Even on this journey, that love grows how the garden be. The first to teach us when we sit, the first to
Y'all too. Y'all come back and see me. I'm gonna come back on later on, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna enjoy it. Come
Thank
down.
you for being here. I hope you got somewhere.
When it's here, you won't let your game. And you feeling the pride. You and your siblings fighting. She gon' make you put the feelings aside. She can lead you down the road, but she can give you the guide. When you think I get that blissful look in my eyes, I need a side of ice cream and then my pie. You know what's up for mama chiefs.
Shout out
You
to
know
all the
I'm a cause we
Aboriginal
all need a mama
indigenous.
chiefs. Yeah, we all love a mama chiefs. The greatness, the patience, the foundation, the knowledge passed down for so many generations. A motivation. I just want to thank you for my creation, cause we all love a mama chiefs. Yeah, we all need a mama chiefs. Yeah, we all rap for Mama Chief. Dedication. I see the tears at my graduation. Now look how your boy done made it. You the reason I'm one of the greatest. Yeah, cause we all need a Mama Chiefs. Yeah, we all love a Mama Chiefs. Yeah, we all rap for Mama Chief.
I'm gonna give me a good music list too, y'all. I am. I'm gonna have some music I can play without getting right. Yeah.
Who they think they better than? Ain't no comparison to the so-called black, the African American. You can drop the African, keep the American. When we say Aborigine, and make their world in. I'm going in the same dirt, my ancestors are buried in. I come from a god and a goddess, so what that make me? Not even Basquiat can trace me. Not even Van Gogh can paint me. The MC in me is the God MC equals the God in me.